Welcome to the Celebration of You. I'm your host, Holly Dowling. I'm thrilled to share with you incredible people from all over the world who are living and leading extraordinary lives. From overcoming immense adversity to discovering the secret sauce to leading with courage and grace. Their stories are going to bring you hope and inspiration. Now, let the stories begin. Oh God, I'm so excited. You know when I get excited, I just like
I could tell.
You could tell.
Yeah,
it's like here we go.
I can't wait to hang out with you.
You are hanging out with me, and you're hanging out with a bunch of people that are going to be listening to this, Nancy. That I just get so excited because, like, I have to tell everybody. All right. So before I introduce you and you hear this, you've already heard her voice, and you can already tell there's going to be some amazing energy during this conversation. But there comes a time in life when you get to meet extraordinary people. And maybe you know you're going to meet them, or maybe you don't. But I had the opportunity to attend an event and be in this amazing woman's home who hosted this incredible event. And I'm like, who is this person? I need to find her because I've researched a little. And Nancy, you need to know this. I researched you and I'm like, wow, everything that I learned about you, just reading about you, I was like, this person is giving back in so many ways. Like, I want to know who you are. I want your juice. I want to have your Kool-Aid. Because I'm like, what's it like to be in a place in life where you are just giving? It never stops. And then you meet Nancy and you're like, holy crap, you're gorgeous, you're brilliant, and you're all this. So can I just say, welcome, Nancy. How's that one?
Oh, well, thank you. I don't know what to say other than thank you. No, it's been a pleasure to get to know you. Your energy and your tenaciousness and just your spirit has been just, I'm truly blessed to know you now.
Oh, thank you. Well, you get to celebrate other people. And today, my love, I get to celebrate you and share with men and women all over the world the magnificent, extraordinary person you are, but also what you're doing in this world. And like, I'm sitting here going, where do we begin? So first of all, like, you can all look her up. You'll know at the end how to learn more about Dr. Nancy O'Reilly. What you're about to find out is that Nancy, you're just, you've started a nonprofit. You've started this whole global movement, Connect for Good. You've written several books, and I want to know more about, like, what's your favorite book? Because I'm learning about your books, and I'm like, wow, I love the Timeless Women Speak, Feeling Youthful at Any Age. That one got me, because I was like, well, heck, I feel fabulous at 50. I don't know about you.
It's a great age. Age is just a number. Remember that.
Oh, well, tell us. Okay, what are you most proud of right now that you're doing in our world? Tell me what you're spending your days doing, and then we'll get to the horses in the background, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Really, I'd say probably if I stopped and I thought about that, about what I'm most proud about, I think I'm most proud about what impact Women Connect for Good is having to bring people together, to develop a community of like-minded women who truly, truly support one another's efforts, their passion, their purpose, and their mission. And, so to me, growing this community has always been kind of my ultimate goal, is to find, I'll be honest with you. Holly, I was a tomboy. I was probably the least likely person to be sitting here talking to you about women empowerment or women's leadership. I did not feel valued as a girl growing up. I saw boys having much more fun. So, basically, I was a tomboy. I played kickball, baseball, anything that had a ball involved, digging a cave, whatever. The boys came to my house not to date me, but to go out and take me on their team because I was pretty darn good at sports. But life has an interesting twists and turns, and I never expected to get married, never expected to have children. I was going to be a career woman all the way down the road. That's the way I saw my life. And of course, love and marriage and a baby carriage changes everything.
Wait, I just love the way you said that. Love and marriage and a baby carriage. Sorry,
yeah,
that was
and
good.
Then or maybe it was maybe it was a reverse. Who knows? But anyway, the point is though I had one daughter after another daughter after another daughter, and even then I didn't expect to ever have daughters. I expected just to have boys, and it was almost as if. And I tell this with tongue in cheek a little bit, but God, she has a very interesting sense of humor. And And I think this is definitely something that I really think I've been tapped to do what I'm doing, because I don't think I would have ever, thought about the legacy that I wanted to leave my own daughters, or the empowerment that I wanted to make sure that my daughters had. So my goal after having all these daughters, I mean, I was working on my degrees in psychology, sociology, and my master's and my doctorate, about helping people, but it became more apparent to me the most important thing I needed to do was to first empower myself to help to empower my daughters. And so growing this community of women has been my goal for the last 30 years. I just didn't know. I didn't understand. It's becoming more clear to me as the years go on that it's really, truly the most important thing. It's the most important legacy that I can leave, that someone can say about Nancy O'Reilly that she really cared about other people, and she really, really did support other women's efforts and did her very, very best to make the world a better place to live in. And that's really what I do.
Oh, and you do it. I mean, you don't just say it. And I have to be honest with you. There's a lot of people out there putting their names attached to a lot of great movements. But when it gets down to who's doing the dirty work and really out there doing it, you're doing it, girl. You're living it. Yeah. I mean, and the people that know you and love you and respect you, I mean, if you could be in a room, I just have to tell you, Gloria and I were together not too long ago, and to hear people rave about you and the work you're doing, you are literally, I don't even know if you realize this, but you're carrying a torch. And that torch is lit so brightly, because not only are you empowering women, and I want to go back to this, the God's joke on you, giving you all these girls, and you're like, what the heck? I had never planned on this. And yet I think it's beyond just women's empowerment, Nancy, what you're doing. You're actually inspiring women like us that are choosing to spend our lives doing this, but we're not quite sure how or where's the best place. You're like setting the stage and moving forward, and it's global. Like, you've done even more than just that. I mean, when I read and learned the crisis work you've done, you stepped in after 9/11. You've done things, and let's just go back to, I want to go back to when you were a little girl, because you said something that was really profound, and it just kind of slipped right in and we moved on. And that was that you said you were a tomboy, but because you didn't feel very valued as a girl. Tell us about that, because that was probably a growing seed as to who you've become, right?
And I don't know exactly where it did come from, other than, and because I had my mother was a $1 million real estate agent. I mean, she definitely, she was the money person in my family. My father, he worked, he was a pilot. I had loving, caring parents. I don't know exactly what it was. I guess I looked around and I just didn't feel that girls were really having as much fun as boys. And as I grew up, as I continued to grow, I just had a sense that for some reason girls were in the background and boys were in the forefront. And for me, that just really didn't fit well. It didn't sit well. It didn't fit well. And, like I said, even in high school, most of my friends were guys. I can't really explain it other than, I just felt like boys were just more empowered than women and girls. And I just wanted to be in that club. I just felt like I really needed to be in that club to get where I wanted in life, to get where I needed to be, at least what I thought at that time in my life. And, like I said, I think I was always looking for girls that were like myself. Mm. And I think that's interesting, because many of the women that in fact, most of the women I spend my time with truly have the kind of similar experiences, and again have similar thoughts. But that when we do come together, it's such a joyous, it's such a joyous occasion. It's almost like we've definitely found our sisters. We do. We rise up and we're stronger, and we just want to go find others to join us.
It's so true. It's so true. And I was just thinking about how we're both Midwest girls. So you grew up in Springfield, right? Springfield, Missouri?
No, actually, I was born in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
And I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area of Fairfax County. The Tisdales lived on Sprucedale in Annandale.
No. Oh my God.
Yeah, if you can remember my name and my address, you were definitely in trouble. But no, and I grew up in Virginia, and then I went to school in Missouri. That's how I ended up in Missouri. So my children were born in Missouri. Yes, and I've spent a lot of time. My family originally was from the Midwest, so yeah, there was a lot of strong Midwestern values that I grew up with. Both my parents were that grew up in Springfield. In fact, they went to high school together in Springfield, Missouri.
Oh, look at that. And then you came back, went to college there. That's where you went to college. And then,
well, they actually sent me there because they wanted somebody to keep an eye on me. So my grandparents were there, and my uncle was in Kansas City. So they I think really, because of my grades, but also because I was just mischievous. That's a good word.
That's a great word.
Anyway, I think it was just to have me somewhere so that they could keep an eye on me and report back to how I was doing. So, and at Drury, where I went to school, Drury University, I truly did find some excellent mentors. So I really did take off as far as that point, in my life, just really figuring out what I wanted to do as far as psychology, sociology. I really wanted to help people. I was fascinated with behavior. I loved the whole concept of understanding people, which I had hoped would help me to understand myself.
Right. So take us from there, though. So, I want to know, so Nancy is fascinated with human behavior. You've got your doctorate, right? You've done all this great schooling. So, right. So where you are today, doing all this work globally to empower women, what were those years like? So tell us, for somebody listening that goes, I'm fascinated with human behavior. Maybe there's a younger person listening to this that's like, this is what I want to do, but what did you do next? So there's something that take us down the path.
Well, let me explain something very quickly, because again, I was looking for clues and signs as to where women were valued in this world. Mm. And I remember when I was working on my doctorate, and this I don't think has changed a lot. But I remember when I was working on my doctorate, and I was married in college. I had my children. In fact, every daughter I have a degree for. And so basically, I still remember someone that was very, very close to me said to me, well, and I was working on my doctorate, and I said, I want my doctorate because I want my daughters to know that they can do anything. I want them to know that education is one of the true pathways to the ticket to where you want to go. But I want to make sure that they understand that, I'm going to create a path for them. I'm going to create a goal for them. And I remember someone very close to me, someone in my family said, well, what about your family? And I was working on my doctorate. What's going to happen? You leaving your, and basically they were saying you're selfish. What about your family? And I still remember looking at this person as if to say, how could you possibly say that to me? Because I'd worked so hard to get where I was, to get my master's, then go on for my doctorate, and continue my education with the true understanding that it wasn't to me selfish. It was about creating that legacy. And so I think along the way, I felt like women were jealous. They weren't supportive. Mm. They were envious. They were jealous. And when they compared this up, I still remember a woman coming up to me, and I thought she was a friend. She was not a friend much longer after that. But she says, she said, Nancy, you're just so competitive. And I thought to myself, what does that mean? In fact, what's wrong with girls and women being competitive? There's nothing wrong with that. So, I had women along the way basically tell me, as I'm going forward and as I'm working on my goals and my objectives and creating what I call my legacy, I didn't get a lot of support from women. Mm. I did not get support. I felt as if, they were comparing themselves to me, and that somehow, that I thought I was better than them, or that, there was the measuring stick was out. I did not walk around with a measuring stick. I did not walk around looking at women for comparisons. I was strictly myself out there doing what I thought would be the best thing for my daughters and for women in the world. But no, I think that was discouraging. But that discouragement and that feeling, those feelings, though, just made me even more determined to find that community and to find women that felt like I did, which was, you can do anything. You can do anything, and you can change the world for good. And women, when we get together, we are extremely not only. I mean, we women that don't take no for an answer can get anything done.
Oh, I love that you just said it, because, I shared with you the other day, tell me no, watch me go, my mantra since I was a young girl. And, it's interesting. I think it's so funny you just said that. I mean, I'm reflecting back on my own life. And I think, in general, those women that were looking at you kind of, as you said, you didn't have a measuring stick and maybe they were envious. I think so many women, and it's society, Nancy. I mean, think about how much, even the last 3-4 decades have changed, but it's still women struggle to feel that they have a place. And we feel like, right, we always have to put ourselves last and make sure everyone else is first. And at the end of the day, by being a little selfish, we can be far more selfless. So by you stepping up and doing this to empower your daughters and saying, I want my daughters to grow up, to know who they are and know that they can make a difference. I mean, isn't that what we all want? I mean, I think that's non-gender bias, boys or girls, right? To own who they are, be comfortable in your skin. And a lot of that has to do with how they see us step into that space. Yeah. You also mentioned, this is a hot topic nowadays. It's still hot. Let's face it. The boys club, right? Going back to the old boys club and having to feel like we fit in. What are your thoughts around that today? Because I know that's a big piece of the movement and helping women feel empowered. But what are your thoughts around the boys club, and how do you empower women if you're doing speaking or coaching around that?
Right. Well, what I do say about the boys club is that I talk about the positives of the boys club. The fact that men can come together, they can be competitive with one another, but they can also they can shoot straight, and they can really, really get things done. And a guy could say to another guy, we're going to go play golf, and I'm going to beat you today. And the other guy go, yeah, go ahead, try it. If you and I played golf, and if I walked out one day with the group of women I'm playing with, and I looked at all three of my foursome couple group for the golf game that day, and I said, you know what, I'm going to beat all three of you today in golf, and there you have it. It would be the most horrible 3 or 4 hours I'd spent in the rest of my life. The thing is that women need to get tougher. They need to get tougher. I mean, and I say that with kindness, though, is that we need to be more resilient, and vulnerability is one of the truest. That is truly a feminine essence. I'm not saying, because the important thing about women is that men are pretty good about asking for help each other. Hey, you want to do so and so? Let's go build something together. Okay, let's go do it. But women are not very good about asking other women for help.
I know. Why?
Because that creates the vulnerability. If I can't do it myself, and I can't accomplish everything on my own, then there's something. Then I'm going to get graded. There comes that measuring stick again. So I think that vulnerability is, and I think tougher means also more vulnerable. I mean, I guess it's going to sound really weird, but we need to just have a little tougher skin. Not everybody's going to like us. And I think that's something that women really don't like. Likability with Hillary. I got really upset about that one. She doesn't have likability, and I thought, oh my gosh, we need to get over the fact that yes, to really truly be effective in this world, we have to. Well, there's a saying in Africa, and I've said this before. It said, if you want to go far, go alone. Oh, no, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go all together. And a lot of women don't understand that. We're working so hard to get there so fast by ourselves that oftentimes we get there and we look around and there's nobody there. There's nobody there to help them. That basket of goodies that we came into the world with is now empty, and there's no one there to help replenish it. But if we go far and we go all together, we get there and we go, wow, we can look around and it's just a glorious feeling. So I just want women to understand that when we're together and when we work together and we cooperate, I think I told you this story, but I was doing a radio show, and this woman, I've said to her, and in fact, anyone, and I told you this too, anyone that does the radio show, and we get to meet each other, and I said, now you're one of the leading women. I just come here in the club, and I said to her, how can I help you? What can I do to help you, obtain and reach your goals and your objectives and your mission and your work? And it got very, very quiet. Very, very quiet. And I thought, is she still on the other end of the phone? I went, are you still there? She goes, you mean you want to help me? Wow. And I went, yes, that's exactly what I want to do. And she just went, I think she was dumbfounded. Wow. Because I may have been the first person in her life to ever hear her say, yes, I want to support you. And yes, I want to help you. And if more women understood that, we would be so much further ahead. That 55% of the population, we'd be running the market. We'd be in charge. There'd be everybody'd have health care. There'd be no wars. I can just go down the list of what would be different.
And it's so fascinating that you actually experienced that woman was dumbfounded.
Yeah.
Almost like, are you kidding? Like, are you being serious? But Nancy, it's so true. And yet we're so afraid to reach out to ask for help. I think you just nailed this. And yet on the flip side of it, we're exhausted, we're depleted, there's nothing left because we're taking care of the world and feeling like we have to be this lone ranger out there. And at the end of the day, I always flip it. And I think you'll like this. And tell me that with your psychology background, right? Like, I'm fascinated with human behavior. I just never pursued that as a degree, but I wish maybe I will. Nance, it's never too late, right?
It's never too late.
It's never too late. But I'm always fascinated going, but if you stop and think, look at the people that you have the highest respect for. This is what I do with women when I'm working in the corporate leadership realm. And I'll say, take a look at the women, like just in your mind, think about the women that you really aspire, that you say, wow, that person has all these qualities. If you stop and think about who those people are and the qualities that you really respect, you'll probably see that what they do is they know how to have boundaries. They know where to say yes, where to say no.
Right.
And they're actually reaching out, and they're the ones that have the network. So it's kind of like a hypocrisy in a way, right? We think we're supposed to do it on our own, but the people that we're looking up to and we respect are the ones that are doing what you just said.
Yeah. I ask this question when I speak, and I do it purposely. And I get a chance then to look around the room, but I say, I have a question for you. And, I want, you don't have to answer, but I want you to think about what you would say and how you would feel if you were to answer the question. And it's simply this: do you support other women? And it's interesting to look around the room and see the heads nod or people looking up. They're looking up, thinking about it, because I know they don't. They know they don't. And, you know how you do the neuralistic program, you can see when people's eyes go up, down, right or left, if it's, they're thinking, they're emotional or whatever. But you can see the women that are, agreeing and going, yeah. And, because, and then I say, if you hurt your sister, if you put your sister down, you put us all down. And you see women's heads nodding in agreement. And I think that's when it really comes down to really understanding a very, very simple, and that's what Women Connect for Good is. It's a very simple mission. Women supporting other women. Go figure, hey. But it's so simple, and I wanted it that simple to help women understand that's the most important thing we can do to one another. I don't know about you, but I can see the faces of the people in my life who supported me. I see their faces every day. I hear their words every day. So I know that if we've got some cheerleader, some coach, someone that's behind us, someone by our side, giving us support, giving us, encouragement, that we can do anything. Yeah. But and women, I feel so strongly about that. That's what makes me happiest, when I truly see someone who comes up and they get it. They understand that. They're going out and they're I guess they're new. They're reborn. Okay.
Reborn.
They're reborn. Yeah.
Hey, let's start a whole new thing in your whole program. We'll call it the rebirth. Okay. Let's just call it the rebirth.
Put them in the water and put them down and rebirth them.
Rebirth them. You thought you were being baptized today? You're being rebirthed. And you know what's fascinating, though, and I don't want anybody to miss this, is that, as you were saying that, and I was thinking about, again, there's a quote I heard years ago, and I want to give shout outs for the men out there that are such proponents and the champions of women. Because when you said, there's somebody that you can see their faces, right? A mentor, a coach, maybe it's a former boss, maybe it's a significant other or a family member, but there are, and I know you and I talked about this, we want to thank the men that are being such champions and ambassadors, because we're not looking to still have these two separate islands anymore.
No,
right?
No. Not at all. Not at all. Mm-mm. No, in fact, one of the things I say is I love women who love other women, but I also love the men who love the women as well. And it's because there's always men. I mean, I'm not about conquering and dividing. That is not my goal. It's never been my goal. But again, what I say sometimes, I said, we still as women have to figure this out. And we do. We need all the support we can get, and it's gender equality. I mean, it's gender parity. Yes. It's gender equality all along the board. I'm not at all trying to conquer and divide. That's never been my goal. But I've also, though, understood that we've got to get women who really get it and support one another to really grow and build this community, so that we can do exactly that.
So on that note, because I have a couple things that I want to do, and oh my gosh, I don't even want to run out of time, Nance. Tell us about Connect for Good. I want people to hear more about it. Tell us exactly how they can learn about it, right?
Okay.
What would you like us to know?
Well, all you need to do is go to drnancyoreilly.com. Just go to the website. There's all the information about the foundation. And as I said, Women Connect for Good has helped many passions and purposes and inspirations of other women. It is a 501c3. And again, I'm very excited about the many things that we've already done. As I said, you mentioned Gloria Felt, who is the CEO and founder of Take the Lead. Gloria and I are partnering with Take the Lead to have equal parity for women's leadership by the year 2025. Right now, there's close to 50 women leader ambassadors across the country that are out teaching and offering education about women's leadership, which again, a good coach, good leader, a good mentor is what we all need, and that's something I'm very passionate about. But, I'm Women Connect for Good is helping in so many ways, and globally, as you said, as well, all across the country and other parts of the world. So I'm very excited about what we're doing. Again, partnerships are extremely important to grow anything that we do, and collaborations. And joining is so important. And so, I get excited every day because one door opens and another one opens and another one opens, and I love that. So
I love that. Look
and
at you.
And I get to meet the nicest people like you. I really do. I mean, it's truly an honor to be doing what I'm doing and have the many blessings to be able to do what we're doing. But on the website, there's lots and lots of information, and you can also go in and listen to Holly Dowling's conversations with smart, amazing women, which just was put up on the website. So you must go in and listen to that one. I mean, it's going to be extremely special.
You're so precious.
But there's blogs and there's lots of information, and also ways that they can get involved and start building and becoming a part of the community and building their own communities wherever they might live.
Oh, I love this. I love this. And Nancy, there's something about you that I learned about you. And I just want everyone to hear this. And I want you have a passion for horses. And I want to bring the human side into this, because everything we're talking about empowering women and the empowerment, you've got to find your passions. And sometimes these passions come out of a healing time. They come out of a time in your life. It's never too late to dream again. It's never too late to find a passion.
No, never.
Tell me, because I don't know, you just said you fell in love with horses and it was at a critical time for you. Was it in 2012? Tell me about the horse thing.
Well, my marriage ended, and I'd been married a long, long time, and I was doing what I was doing still, but I had there was a void. There was a void, and I needed to fill it. And so a friend of mine took me out to her barn, and I met horses for the first time. I mean, I've been around horses on and off as a kid and so forth, but she took me out there, and then I bought my first horse in 2012. I'm not even going to tell you how many horses I have, but I'm breeding horses. I'm showing horses. I have 2 stallions. I just had a baby yesterday, not yet, 3 days ago. His name is Electric Air. He is going to probably be one of the top stallions one day, but it's a wonderful community of people who really, people who love animals tend to be pretty nice people. So I'm so blessed. But hey, I started riding late in life, and now I'm showing horses. I do country English, and I drive horses. And as I said, I'm now breeding horses, and I absolutely love it.
I love this. And I wanted everybody to hear this, because 2012, it's 2017, 5 years. Look at a passion that you've taken, because you've been open to, when you just said another door opens. And gang, I want everybody, women or men, truly understand it is. I firmly believe this. It's never too late to dream. It's never too late to go just explore another passion. And it could be very healing for you, because we're all going through changes, right? Life is full of all kinds of opportunities and challenges, shall we say?
Oh, yes. No, sometimes we don't understand why things happen in our life. But then, like I said, 5 years down the road, I'm looking at my life and I'm going, boy, this couldn't be any better. So, when things do happen in your life that feel very tragic or for some reason feel like the huge barrier that has locked you down, don't let it stop you, because it's just probably a time in your life that you're going to move on to even something greater.
And what a great opportunity to reemphasize how important it is to have a really great network and to lean in and have those women in your life that support you. I always it's like, who are your balcony people? Who are the people those women that cheer you on, that inspire you? Be very, very selective who you spend your I always say your discretionary time with, because they can either lift us up or they can deplete the heck out of us.
Yeah. No, if you don't have women in your life and you don't have people in your life that support you, you need to get a new tribe. And that's
the rebirth, Nancy. We're doing the rebirth right now.
You need to be rebirth. And we'll start today with your rebirth, and everything's going to be fine. But no. I mean, I wouldn't be here without the support people in my life. And many of them were wonderful, amazing women who basically, took my hand, and like I said, my friend that took me to the barn, she knew that I needed something, and she helped me find something so absolutely beautiful. And we show together, and we ride together, and I mean, it's a beautiful thing. So yeah, I mean, like I said, life is, I'm here to learn, and when I stop learning, it's time to go. So many of the life lessons that I continue to learn are still ahead of me, but this is a great life, and every day is about making choices. So I'm all about the next chapter. I mean, this is today's today. Yesterday's gone, tomorrow's yet to be. Today is all we have. So the present, they call it present for a reason.
They call it present for a present. And I always like to say the present is a present. It's a gift. It's what are you doing with it, right, girl?
Absolutely.
Well, I know we're gonna wrap this up, and you had no idea I'm gonna ask you this, so just top of mind, because you've shared so much wisdom with so much grace and strength. But if you were to give us If you were to give your 25-year-old self advice based on who you are today and what you know, what would you tell your 25-year-old self, Nancy?
Surround yourself with cheerleaders, surround yourself with people who care about you. Be willing to, be available, be willing to reach out for help when you need it. Give help, but reach out for help when you need it. And, and sing and dance a lot. sing and dance. Sing and dance. Yeah.
I love that.
Sing and dance. Yes. So, yeah.
Oh. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for your joy. Thank you for your spirit. Just thank you for being in my life, more importantly than just as a guest on the show. Your brilliance, you inspire me. You inspire so many, and I can't wait to see you soon at the end of the month. Thank you, my love.
All right. I can't wait to meet you in person, and thank you so much for what you do. Like I said, we're in the same club, and like I said, there's a lot of us out there. We just need to find each other.
Exactly. So rebirth. It's time, girl. Bye.
Rebirth. All right. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon.
Bye. Thank you for joining me for another awesome celebration of you. If you were inspired by this story, please share it with your family and friends and hashtag Your Story Matters. I'd love to hear from you, so please leave a comment on iTunes. And absolutely, please come to my website, hollydowling.com. Leave a comment there too, and while you're there, pick up your free gift. Most importantly, though, just remember that your life is a gift from God. What you do with it is your gift back.